This is so much. Apparently Battlefield 2's still around.
Is it?
Yeah. That blew my fucking mind. I was like, what do you mean that game's still around?
It's pretty down, isn't it?
Ancient, mate. Absolutely ancient. Oh, yellow bar. Is yellow bar good bar or bad bar?
Yeah, I never thought I'd go to the dark side and spend all my time playing MOBAs, but there we are.
There you go. Wait, is Overwatch really considered a MOBA? Or?
Sort of, yeah. Heroes of the Storm is a MOBA and I play that.
Oh, fair
But it doesn't take like 3 hours to finish one game. You can play a game in like 10 minutes, which I like.
Alright.
So it's a MOBA that's actually fun and just not like this is.
So you're not sat there on Dota screaming at
No,
people?
yeah, none of that shit. You ain't got shops and you got to buy items and there's no meta like that. It's literally more just you pick it up, you play it.
Heroes of the Storm is Windows only, isn't it?
I don't know.
Ah, that's definitely Windows only.
Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah.
Ready to rumble, are we?
Next time.
Fucking get voice sounds until we podcast.
So I've muted it now.
Wait, which,
Listen to
are you sure that was these microphones? That sounded really thin.
Yeah, it's these microphones, definite.
Okay.
Definite. I actually need to go into the other event tab or to go into the other this new one because YouTube fucking. I'll have to start setting these up like a week before. So
why don't you just do what everyone else does and set them up when we're here? Because we set everything else up.
I know, but
oh, for God's sake, I can't move!
Brilliant!
There's no space to move.
Brilliant! Well done.
Ram, can you open the door, please?
I'm opening the door. I'm opening the door.
This is the best podcast ever.
No.
Hello, Satan.
Alright.
Hello.
Look, we found a travelling musician.
More like I found him and told him to come round.
Bless him.
Hello.
I've been living
Right.
inside.
How's my space going?
Sorry? Oh, fucking MySpace, Joe. Good job.
He does look like him.
Are
I'm
you
sat there going,
MySpace Tom? Are you rich?
are you rich, Tom?
I don't know,
How
I
did
don't
that pan out for you?
I don't know which one that is.
Right.
Good part of weekend
The
pass.
good news is people are actually now watching.
Really?
That's because the chicks walked in, that's why.
Yeah, it explains everything.
Look, there's a chick and a dog.
Oh,
the cutest.
I'm not going to make that joke because it's going
That was coming. I said that one up.
don't call me a dog, Forley. Just say it as it is. I'm a cunt.
Oh, no, I think we've gone elsewhere with that one, but yeah.
Right. I can do
I'm
that. Come on, yes.
Now, I am really poorly.
Right.
What's that foreigner's name?
Who wants my gold? Who wants to join in?
No.
No, I don't want it, please.
Can you take podcast? That one. Can you take
Podcast.
Yeah. Can you take the
Pod dog.
Yeah. Take him to the other room that isn't this one.
Yeah, sure. I can give you clothes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Feed the biscuit.
Ah! That's evil.
Yeah.
It's almost like
Forley can here.
I don't mind this so much.
Bastard.
Right, we're going. Graham on the stuff at Graham.
I'm Middlemeister.
Skazz.
Bad.
Oh
Yes,
my God.
look who we found! He's back after a year hiatus.
I disappeared.
How many years?
I went to Tibet to sit on a mountain and piss off the monks, I guess.
How was the mountain?
It was alright.
Monks happy now?
Yeah,
They're happy now.
Chinese came in and demanded it all back, and then it all just went horrendously wrong.
I thought we killed him.
Yeah,
Who
well.
was that?
Oh, shit. Wait, did you crawl out of a grave at some point?
Many a time, but you're going to have to narrow this down to specifics.
So we definitely buried someone in Poland.
Yeah,
Poland.
Did you come out of a grave in Poland at any point? If you can't confirm this
Considering the
with
political situation in Poland right now, I'm so not making any jokes because that'll just.
good man.
You won't be able to find any builders if you do.
But I've been politically correct.
Was it a mass grave?
No. It was a grave you won an award for having the squarest edges.
We've done that twice.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Was it made of quartz? That's one way to keep the zombies escaping from the coffins we found. Quartz lined coffins, and yeah.
They'd be so shocked by the price of it.
So they're like, oh shit, I better make the most of this.
Anyway, well, there's 4 of us. It's been a long time since we've had 4 nerds on. That was the last time with Chalky, I think, last week.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah, about 2 years ago.
That was a long old... Shit, I've been living here that long.
Yeah.
Where did the time go?
Yeah, I know.
They're old now. Shit.
Yeah.
We better retire them.
Alright then. See you everybody, bye.
See you.
Bye.
Oh shit, there's the camera, isn't it?
Yeah, the camera's not on.
Yeah.
I was looking at the laptop, it's not there, it's over there.
Yeah, camera's on a plant pot.
You
12
have to
professional.
grow. You grow cameras.
Yes. Yes, I am indeed having those. Right. Best memory was already, well, a bit late. Technical issues, not my fault.
Do you remember this whole, are you ready? Yeah, mate, I'm good. Set up!
Yeah,
All of
set
it's
up.
connected to YouTube. It's like, oh god, here we go. Then he tries it. There was literally, how long? Like 5-10 minutes of you shouting at the laptop and OBS before the podcast started.
Well, this is
Don't you dare delete it.
This has been running for 12 minutes, you see, this Zoom H1, which means it took me 12 minutes to get this going. Admittedly, that part was me shouting at you to get in your seat and not move. So, anyway, games we've been playing. So, as we're going to start the most gamey of all of us. Skazz, what have you been up to?
Alright. Well, screw you, mate, because I've been playing a game!
Excellent, now moving on.
Bloody hell.
There you go. We don't want to hear about it, we just want to know if you were actually playing.
It's nice to know you're taking part.
Yeah, you know.
Have a participation trophy.
Oh, thanks, man. Yay!
Achievement unlocked.
I hate those things. I hate them. Never play games for achievements, please.
You installed the game.
Trophies.
Well done,
Just not achievements.
No trophies either. In fact, in fairness, I've got loads of games that give you achievements just for starting the game.
Gears of War, always remember playing Gears of War, it gave you an achievement for completing the tutorial. I thought, how shit do you have to be that you need a reward for completing the tutorial?
How shit just me to not get that achievement.
I love some of the games though that, like, when they have achievements for certain checkpoints in the game, like, oh, you've beat chapter 1, oh, you've beat whatever. Not the ones that are like, oh, you've killed 500 enemies with whatever kind of thing, but the ones that have like literal checkpoints in the game tied to an achievement, and you're like, wow, most people, because like Neptunia, for example, has one for when you start the game. Just start the game.
Yeah.
Not like you've got 20 points, just start it. Then you watch to see how many people actually finish chapter 1.
Global achievement.
Yeah, it's like, oh look, there you go.
That is quite interesting because like, I love doing that global achievements, and actually you can see how people have actually. And it amazes me, like, good example, Deus Ex, Human Revolution, there's an achievement for King of the Final Boss. Then immediately after
I
that.
see things haven't changed. He's still talking about Deus Ex Human
Yeah.
Revolution.
Then immediately after that, you go and push a button. Immediately, literally in 2 minutes, you go and push a button to enter the game. But there's a percent, about 0.5% of people who've completed the final boss but not actually finished the game. It's like literally had to walk in the room. That's all you had to do.
I
And
think this is where people just table flipped it and said, fuck this, I'm going to go play something else.
I'll be thinking, well, I must have finished the game now. The boss is dead. Off I go then.
There's probably loads of people that have still left it running. They just
Probably.
walked off and realised that outside
Probably.
exists.
Playing the game.
It's over! Didn't see the credits, but fuck. GG.
But yeah. So, Skazz.
Yes, I've been playing a classic. Not for you, because you wouldn't have played it because it's too Japanese. You might have played it once upon a time because you're a PlayStation lad.
Right.
You should have played it, and if you haven't, you deserve a slap.
Right.
Phantasy Star Universe.
Played a Phantasy Star game, like multiple ones, but which one's Universe?
Universe was the one that came out. It had, so you had Phantasy Star 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
That was Master System through Mega Drive.
Yeah.
Then you had Phantasy Star Online.
Right. Yeah.
Then after Online came Universe, and Universe was the first one to actually have a dedicated single-player story mode where you played as Ethan Weber or
Right.
Weber or
Yeah. I
whatever.
played that.
Is that a Dreamcast?
No, that was
Played all the earlier ones, but not that.
PS2, Xbox 360, and PC.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then, have you played Phantasy Star Portable?
Which one?
Phantasy Star Portable on the PSP.
Oh no.
Right, well, Portable is based on the Universe style of Phantasy Star games. So,
Okay.
those are, apparently it turns out that those are the ones that a lot of people actually got into. They actually got into Phantasy Star through Universe, which
I'm
surprises
surprised.
me.
You think that, like, well, if they hadn't played the ones on the Mega Drive, like, a lot of people got into it through online.
On the Dreamcast, yeah.
Which is huge. Like,
It turns out that one of my mates has only ever played a Phantasy Star game on Universe and has never played one since.
wow.
Which blew my fucking mind because I played Universe. I remember the first time I played it years and years and years ago when it got released. Played it on PC and that was on. This is how old it is. AMD Athlon 3000 with an NVIDIA cheese sandwich graphics card that could barely play the damn thing. Right?
Well, VG.
Not that old, mate. Not that old. But was playing. I played it on that for a little bit. and then realised that my PC probably wasn't really really wasn't up to snuff. So I ended up getting it on Xbox 360 a while later. And I actually had that was the first one that we had to pay a subscription to play online. Now I had a subscription, made my character, got online, very rarely played it online. Got about 2/3 of the way through the story campaign. That was another one of those ones actually.
You didn't get that checkpoint achievement.
Yeah, well that's it. That's one of the games that actually gives you achievements for every chapter you play through. And I was like, well, I've got it on. The reason I started playing it again was that they've got a private server project out for it. So Phantasy Star Online is still playable today online through like the Affinia project or the Tepeala project,
right?
Where someone has actually made a private server that you can connect the game to and still play online with other people. Sega have just said whatever. They turned that off back in what 2003 or something like that, 2002.
Must have been, yeah.
A long time ago. Universe followed, a few years after release. And then they said, yeah, we've now made a Universe server Clementine. So I dug out my game, installed it, found a copy of the expansion pack. Not a DLC, it's an expansion pack. And then I went to make a character on it and never actually played in the online again. But then as soon as I've started doing a stream a day, I was like, you know what? I got back into Phantasy Star Online 2 and thought, I'm actually going to go through and finish the story mode of Universe. And I've played that for like 15 hours in the last week or so, which for me is a hell of a lot.
Does it stand up quite well to, modern game? It's pretty dangerous.
God, it's awful. It's fucking awful. Right, so you play as Ethan Weber, who's this red-headed bastard child who ends up... He's a bit of a roguish twat who ends up joining the Guardians, who he absolutely hates because his dad died on a mission when he was a Guardian, so it's the Guardians' fault that his dad was a pleb. Joins the Guardians because shit hits the fan. You go off on loads of little missions. It's very different from online if you've ever played it. It's not like the original Mega Drive ones. They've got... weapon selection is now done by a pallet system. So you can equip like tons and tons of items, put them on a pallet, and then hot swap as you're moving through an area. So if you need to change guns rather than jumping into a menu like a Phantasy Star, you just go through your pallet.
You get a forklift.
Pretty much, yeah. Same with items. Items are on a pallet now rather than going into menus and things, which is both good and bad until you realise that you haven't actually equipped the item you want to use to a pallet, and you're like, oh, I need to quickly use it and then do that in the middle of a fight. Not great. But yeah, the story mode's your typical thing. Your bad stuff's happening. For some reason, you're a useless dick to start with, and all of a sudden you become really good and you save the day. I don't want to spoil it because cheese. It is pure cheese. You have to play it to understand it. Religion kicks in. Every race in that game is a racist bastard. All of them, the robots especially, the goddamn cast. You walk up to them and like, fucking humans. I was like, hey, hang you on a minute, you're a bloody robot. And it's like, fucking piece of shit, you ain't coming through her. Like, a child goes missing at one point, and the robots are in charge of sorting out this plague that's going on. I was like, don't worry about it, we're just going to incinerate the whole area. There's a child we need to save in there. Fuck him. I was like, what? It's like, we ain't giving you any extra time. My job, get rid of the contamination. If you're in there, when we set fire to everything, tough shit. Vietnam.
Can't really fault them, to be fair. They're doing their jobs.
It's like, we're just going to burn you all to a crisp, Vietnam style. It's like, okay, cool, that's not a problem. Then you go to another planet.
It's not a problem. That's not a problem. That's fine, yeah, cool, dude. Yeah,
you go to another planet, and they're like, fucking humans, fucking Guardians, and look, they got a fucking robot on your side. Slap, fuck you. It's like, are you all racist pricks? Well, we're the head fucking religion of the universe. Why? We are. We're just the posh ones with the big lugs. Fuck you, humans. Like, alrighty then, go to the other planet.
I think this is actual dialogue in the game.
Posh ones with the big legs. Is it like Prince Charles, the race?
Yeah, that's it. And then you go over to the other, like one of these other planets. It's like, oh yeah, people will rip you off everywhere here. You go there. The woman at the Guardians branch like practically leans over the counter and says she's going to kick your face in. I'm like, well, fucking, why is everyone so racist? I just want to do my job.
You know why? Because your planet's a ginger.
Yeah, I did make that joke a few times on stream, but The writing's awful. The voice acting's atrocious. Fucking hilarious. I didn't realise the AI was quite as thick, because obviously it's an online game. They gave you the single player campaign, and they give you AI characters to do missions with. So at one point I'm standing there, I'm shooting this thing, slashing away, and I'm like, where's my team? And they just stood there at the other, like, pointing their guns
I
at
like
the
that
other
you
side
have
of the room.
the classic Phantasy Star shooting animation down pat there.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
so spam it. Because you can hold two weapons at the same time in this one. So you can have your sword in one hand and a gun in the other.
Rhythm-based combat.
Oh, it's not like that in this
No.
one. You just literally, if you want to go gun, you press the up cursor arrow, and then to shoot, down cursor. And just spam the fuck out of it and hope that just fucking go. You'll never hit anything with it, but you know, you can do it.
Still fun.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Absolutely horrible, but brilliant. The AI is atrocious. They stand there and do nothing. When they do fire, they miss, or they get 0 point hits. They very rarely heal you. They often clip or just get stuck on random objects. And like, are you actually here to do anything, or are you just like there to look good? And even then, you don't really look that great. It's ridiculous. I was surprised today, so I played it a little bit earlier on today. I must be about 8 chapters into the game. The AI finally, it's on record, it's when I've killed something. I was like, that's the first time I've seen you kill anything in this entire game. Oh my god! It's like,
It was on a tea break.
clearly for fucking 14 hours. It's like, just go kill something,
So it's
please.
got its downtime, it's had its holiday booked.
Well, if I stand there and do nothing, the monsters can come rushing at us, and the AI just stands there going, guys, there's stuff coming to get us. Guys, over there. And then if I run past it, the AI just stands there, doing nothing. Certain enemies explode. Telegraphed all the time. AI, I'll just fucking stand there. And it'll just launch across the screen every time. Like,
Why is this guy flashing red?
and that is how it happens, and they'll just spin, explode. It's like, death doesn't really mean a lot to you. It
So
doesn't,
in
actually.
many ways it's like playing good online humans.
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, this is an accurate representation of most players online.
So that's fact, it's a brilliantly designed AI, so you have to play the online game.
I didn't remember the AI being quite that bad, but even though things are kind of broken, it's uncomfortable to play on a keyboard because it doesn't fully support like an Xbox controller, because obviously this is 360 before.
I can see
so yeah, like it's weird, but the music's still really good. Graphically, it's okay for the time. I mean, it is a PlayStation 2 style game. Story's goofy as fuck, but
It's weird going back and playing PlayStation 2 games and thinking those graphics were really good when they came out.
Yeah.
Like, one of the Medal of Honor games I remember seeing a video of recently, the one with the D-Day, the Normandy landings. And at the time I remember it being huge. Everyone going, oh wow, that game was fantastic. I'm watching it back now, it's like, shut
Yeah,
up.
Yeah, it's about 6 other soldiers on
Yeah.
the yeah.
Yeah.
I like them playing when we first got a PlayStation 2 and just loading up Time Splitters. I was like, wow, look at these graphics. And like, look how detailed the walls are.
Oh,
The
yeah.
textures are amazing.
oh yeah,
Mm.
textures in Phantasy Star aren't great.
Not like Shenmue 8, open a drawer and get a photo of some cutlery. Can't beat it.
Well, hey, look, Sega Saturn, pick it up. Put it back in. There you go. Nailed it. But no, it's not a bad game, but I can't pick up the cheese in that game enough.
Mm.
It's
But you
fucking
can in Shenmue, and you can look at it and rotate it.
way. And you can get like, I don't know why I was going to make one of the old Japanese underwear machine jokes, but you always go to the thing like putting some money. There you go. Now at the vending machine, or you can spend all day playing games in the arcade.
You can.
Play old Hang On all day.
Or hanging out with the weird Jamaican dude. That,
Oh, not to do that. I was
Yeah.
fucking good times. But yeah, I'm hoping to finish Phantasy Star Universe at some point. It's worth playing if you haven't played it before, just to see where Phantasy Star kind of went, where it went from a Dragon Quest style RPG on the Master System
Yeah.
to a Final Fantasy-ish RPG on the Mega Drive.
Yeah.
Went to an MMO dungeon crawler on the Dreamcast, and then they decided to give the game a story again, like an actual dedicated story. That makes no sense. And then move on.
So, like, practically every other Japanese RPG ever then. Yes, as I love them, here's that great big story that makes no sense.
That's just like, hey, look, this is an ancient technology that we thought was a new technology, but it isn't. We just stole it, and then it turns out that that thing that happened that we blamed on terrorists was actually done by scientists. Good luck. And I was like, huh? Who are the bad guys here?
Everyone.
It's like everyone's the bad guy except Ethan because he's ginger. I was like, no! Good times. It does have Pete in it, which makes it instantly Game of the Year. Pete is like a little bank robot thing. He just floats in your
I thought it fell to the type of soil, personally. But... Right, so moving on. Well, with the stranger back in our midst.
Right.
God, what have you been playing? And you have been playing some things. If you come on this podcast without actually doing anything.
Well,
then you do took my spot.
Then I'd just be doing what I used to do anyway. But yeah. No, I've been spending most of my time away from the podcast playing Overwatch.
And that's why he left the podcast. He
left the podcast because he knew it was going to be released at some point in the future and he had to get prepped.
I developed a bit of an Overwatch addiction. Yeah, and that's practically all I play now.
Good job.
And
it's fun and it's full of people like the AI in Phantasy Star.
Bit derby.
Don't do anything, walk off the side of cliffs and stuff. Or for anyone that's not played it, or has been living under a rock for the last couple of years.
That's me.
Yeah, it's an arena-based shooter, but it's a little bit different to prior arena-based shooters in that it's character-based. I suppose the
TF2?
the closest thing you can liken it to, I was about to say, is TF2. But rather than it being classes, there's sort of there's 4 classes. You've got a support class, a DPS class, a tank class, and a defense class. And there's multiple characters that fill those roles that all do different things and have different play styles. So, for example, if you're an offensive DPS guy, you got Genji, who's a ninja. He's a cyborg ninja, and he can leap around the map and really piss people off and throw ninja stars, and basically he's good at really dealing damage. But then you've also got McCree, who's like kind of a Wild West cowboy with just a 6-shooter. So they play completely differently. Whereas maybe for your defense, you've got a robot that you probably really like, Nick, that can transform into a gun turret and a tank. He's one of your defensive options, but you've also got a loopy guy that can blow stuff up and has a grenade launcher. So, yeah, you kind of like flip stuff around depending on who you want to play. But one of the interesting things about it is when you pick a character, you want locked into that character. So during a round, if you're having trouble getting through an objective, or like say it's got similar modes to TF2 when you're like transporting a objective to a point, you think, right, can't get any further. What characters does the enemy have? Observe who they've got. You can then counter them with other heroes. So you can switch to a hero that would probably be more likely to take that character out, and it gives it a bit more tactical depth than a lot of other sort of arena-based shooters, I would say. But yeah, it's a wicked little game. I really enjoy it. Have any of you guys played it before?
I haven't, because it's a Blizzard title.
You don't like Blizzard games?
Well, Blizzard permabanned me before I even played.
Oh, really?
So, yeah,
I
that's why
you have a habit of doing this.
That's why I didn't play Diablo 3. I got it, made my character, I hadn't even logged in yet, and then the next time I tried to get into the game, it was like, no, you've been banned. I was like, what? It's like, I had to email them and I said, I haven't even played the freaking game yet. My character hasn't even touched the server. And you've already banned me. And they checked the logs and went, oh yeah, sorry. I was like, fuck you, I ain't playing your stuff anymore. Shove that one firmly in your ass. They did the same thing to me in WoW. They were like, oh yeah, you know, something happened. I was like, I was asleep. Well, yeah, but your account has been involved in blah, blah, blah. I was like, can you prove it was me? I was like, can you prove it wasn't you? Again, I was asleep. Well, then you can't, so you're guilty. Speaking to a GM, he was like, but you can play again if you buy the game again. You can have another account if you want. I was like, you fucking wankers. Yeah. So,
so there's no Blizzard games for you then?
No!
Blizzard games are pretty much what I've been playing, and that was, funnily enough, because I bought Diablo 3. I hadn't been playing video games for quite a while. I just kind of got bored of games, to be honest with you.
As you do.
Diablo 3 was cheap. I just thought, oh, bugger, I've never played that. I'll get that. I played it for quite a bit. I quite enjoyed it. And then Blizzard was like, these games are on sale, get them. So I was like, oh yeah, that one's free, I'll take that. I picked up Heroes of the Storm. Literally, the only reason I got it is because it had the Lost Vikings in it.
Oh,
I really used to like the Lost Vikings, so I'll get that. I'll have that. And then I got it, and I never play as the Lost Vikings. I play as every other character, but not the Lost Vikings.
Yeah, but you can't play as them because you'll ruin them.
Yeah, they're ridiculously hard to play as. You have to play all three of them at once. Like,
Jesus Christ.
and it's just like, no. Some people are really good at it though, and they're people to watch out for because yeah, it's tough. But yeah, then Overwatch went on sale, so I thought, well, I'll have some of that. I've heard lots of good things about that game, and I ended up getting a little bit addicted to it.
You heard everything good about it except Tracer.
Fucking hate Tracer. God damn, do I hate Tracer? Yeah. There's actually quite a few characters I've got on my hit list that when people play, we just start getting infuriated. But,
so what is the balance like in Overwatch? Is it quite well balanced?
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty well balanced. I mean, if you, I main a couple of characters, so I got good with a couple of characters, and I found that you can sort of counter people. If you've got somebody who's really good at playing Tracer, they can be particularly annoying. But then if you play a counter Tracer and you get pretty good at that character, you'll find you can actually deal with them. But because it's all predominantly about teamwork, that I think that really does help the balance because yeah, you're always going to have a way to shut down a specific enemy if an enemy becomes too much of a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really think that any of the characters are unfairly balanced. One of the healers is a little bit OP at the moment, but outside of that, I find that Blizzard's games do tend to have quite good balance from other games I've played. Heroes of the Storm is pretty good balance on characters and stuff as well. Sure. So yeah, they're not too bad with that.
Cool. Well, that is just pretty much their entire market, doesn't it? They only have a handful of games, so if the balance was completely screwed, they'd lose out their audience.
Well, yeah, of course it was, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I can't say I've run into problems with it. There have been a few instances where I've gotten really frustrated with characters like Tracer, but then when you learn how they work and how to counter them, with a little bit of time invested, you can kind of get around that.
Tracer counter baseball bat to the back of the fucking head. Bitch. I don't like Tracer.
Yeah,
I never played the game, I just don't like Tracer.
Yeah, what, you just don't like the character?
I don't like Tracer. Every time I watch Arch Toasty play it on Twitch, and I was like, every time we fucking see Tracer, I was like, get that bitch! Just fucking wreck her.
I play Zenyatta, so I've gotten to a point where Tracers now, all I just do is wait for them to walk in front of me, orb them and shoot them in the face, and it'll kill them in one hit, and they fucking hate it. It's quite fun, but yeah, so learning how to take out Tracer is quite fun. I really like killing Moira as well, because she's kind of like Zen. She's an offensive healer, so she's a bit in your face.
That's really bad.
She swears at you, she heals you. Fucking get better!
God damn.
Just zaps you repeatedly. Yeah, but I don't really know what else to say about it, really, other than I waste half my life on it.
Do you not play it? So, just that question, because you said you're only really playing Blizzard games. Have you tried, what's that fucking card game they have?
Oh, Hearthstone.
Yeah, have you tried that?
I've got it, but I haven't played it.
It.
Yeah, no, I stick mainly to Heroes of the Storm and Overwatch.
Mm.
But I think that's just because I've ended up falling in with crowds of people on it, and that's kind of got me back into playing games again, because I quite like the interaction with other people playing games. I mean, I used to play WoW years and years and years ago.
Yeah, we both did, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't sort of played any online games for a long time, so yeah, having that is quite fun, and having a small group of people that I can talk to on Discord and play with is pretty cool.
That's nice when you find like I wouldn't have imagined you going back and playing like Overwatch or whatever, but when you find a genre or style of game that somehow pulls you back in, something that you never thought you'd go back to. Like I had that at the end of last year or middle of last year. I didn't think I'd ever go back and play fighting games, and all of a sudden that just kind of like relit the fire.
Oh right,
so come back and play games.
I played Tekken for a little while. That was quite good.
I played that. I played Tekken 7.
Yeah.
Fucking busted. We're trying to fight Akuma at the end of that with his fucking basically the shotgun fireballs. He's constantly just throwing fireballs. My main character in Tekken has always been either King or Brian.
Yeah, I main King as well. I'm gonna love King.
That drives people mental when you pull off some good combos with King, but like your 10-string King. But no, because through the story though, you have to play as Heihachi, don't you, for the most part? Which was okay. Some of those fights were cheap as all piss.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's what Tekken's one of those games. I'd say out of all the fighting games, it is the one that takes the most dedication, isn't it? Because you really have to master your character. You can't just flip between characters in Tekken. You really have to sit and play
Get good.
as a character and get good to understand all their movesets. Because if you don't, you're just not going to get it.
Button mashing doesn't tend to help against players who know what they're doing. But I don't actually play Tekken that much. To be honest, I got through the fucking story campaign. I was like, well, this is 70 gigs on my hard drive. Bye.
Yeah, it's a pretty beefy game.
Once I kicked the ever-loving shit out of Akuma at the end, and then did the little story bits on the side, I really wanted to play it because Geese Hound was announced, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I really wanted to play as Geese, but then by the time Geese came out, I was like, I'm not playing this anymore.
Did you play King of Fighters 14?
I've got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've played that for
That's a wicked game as well. I really quite enjoyed that.
We got it on PS4, but then I cried because my PS4 died the other week.
No.
So I've played that a fair bit. The one that actually got me back into fighting games was Garo Mark of the Wolves.
I love Garo Mark of the Wolves. I think that Garo Mark of the Wolves is the best fighting game ever made.
Agreed.
Yeah.
That was on Nintendo Switch, and I felt like going through some of the older SNK games because I had a load on there. So I grabbed.
Is that the Neo Geo one?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've spoken about Garo on the podcast before, have I? I'm sure I have at some point.
Not sure.
I used to love that game. I still do.
I didn't remember it until I actually played it again.
That was the game that when I went to London and played in the arcades, I played against a guy that was ranked on it.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a wicked game. I love it. Yeah, really good. It's got. I don't know what it is about that game. It's just got such a flow to it. Like the way all the moves flow is so much better than any other fighting game I've ever played. A lot of people will say that. Ultimate Street Fighter 3 is better. Those people
Third
are wrong.
Strike usually, or Street Fighter Alpha 3.
Yeah.
So it's either Street Fighter Alpha 3 or
the Third Strike is one I always hit. Neither of them are as good as Garo. I don't think.
Third Strike, I understand why people like Third Strike, and that's just because that thing that happened in Evo, where Daigo the Beast basically fucking parried Chun-Li's special.
With Ken, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I was like, holy crap. Like, that was insane. He's done that since.
Yeah.
Against, is it Justin... I can't remember what his name is now. That was Justin and Daigo, and basically he's done that parry on him again.
Oh, nice.
So that was.
But it's funny you should mention fighting games because I feel the reason I like fighting games is the same reason I like Overwatch. A friend of mine who plays it said to me when I got into it, because he's been telling me to play it for ages, and he said it's like playing a sport, isn't it? And I was like, it really is. It really is like playing a sport. Yeah. And it has that same lure that fighting games have, that competitive lure of getting better with specific characters and understanding the meta of the game and how everything works. Yeah.
I mean, Garo broke my head when I played it, so I was like, hang on a minute, I remember this. Why haven't I been playing this all this time?
It's such a good game. Who'd you main in Garo?
Rock Howard or Terry Bundy.
Yeah, I made Terry. We pretty much seem to gravitate towards the same characters.
I also play as Hataru.
Yeah.
Hataru, the chick. But they're the only three that I generally play.
The only other guy I play is Tizok.
Oh, Tizok,
the
wrestler who's in King of Fighters 14. Is it King of Fighters?
Yeah, he's changed. He's a dinosaur in that.
He's a heel in that one. Which was, that was fun. But like, because I was like, I'm going to just play some of the old fighters. I want to play like Samurai Spirits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Garo. Holy shit! I haven't played this in. Look, because I think last time you spoke of it. If you spoke about it on podcast,
I'm sure I have, yeah.
I didn't remember it at all.
Oh.
But then after going back and playing, I was like, shit.
Yeah, Garo and KOF 98 were like the fighting games I used to spend most of my time on. Just because they've always been the top two, really. I don't think there's any other.
I've always preferred SNK fighters over.
Yeah, totally same. I think they've got way more character as well as being, playing better as well.
Can I throw out there? It's a bit of a sin. I say I love SNK fighters. However, one of my favourite fighting games of all time, Capcom vs SNK 2.
Yeah, wicked game.
Who made it though? That was Capcom.
Yeah.
That's SNK's fighters in
Capcom
game.
We used to play at Rangers quite a lot, didn't we?
Yes, we did, because we used to kick the shit out of Stewie. A lot. What was his team? It was Ryu, Evil Ryu, Shinakuma. In every single fucking night.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically just different swaps of
I always used to roll Terry Benimaru and Kyo Kusanagi.
Let me see who I used to play as. It was probably... Actually, I think I mostly played as Himaru as my main.
Yeah, because I forgot Himaru was in that.
Yeah, Himaru, probably Terry... I don't know who my third was.
I really like the first
chick with the eagle from...
from Samurai Showdown.
Yeah.
First one was cool as well, wasn't it? I mean, I actually think I kind of like the aesthetics of the first one more than the second one, but the second one is a better game.
Yeah.
Like, I really like the jumps into levels in the first one, where you had like I remember there's one where it's like you're playing an arcade game, and the car in the game crashes, and then you're in a crash scene fighting. Like, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
SNK vs Capcom.
Oh,
so that's the one that SNK made.
That's the Chaos one, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck, I desperately want to get that.
Yeah, they came
Really
out for Xbox, didn't it?
I
The original Xbox.
believe so.
Yeah.
That was a cunt, apparently.
Yeah.
Because SNK games are known to input read the shit out of you on higher difficulties.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
So, well, Garo does it. Garo does it like a beast.
Why they're so bloody frustrating.
Because Garo's got the old level 3-itis thing. So
Right,
there's a lot of
yeah.
people struggle to get past level 3. Because then once you get to level, it's like, first fight, piss easy. Second fight.
That reminds me, actually, we were talking about it on the podcast, because I remember one of the last things I streamed when we were doing when I was on the podcast was JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, because that's one arcade game I always used to play on max settings and could kick the shit out of.
I've never been.
Go straight through that game with like on one CC, you know. Like,
I'm alright with it. Not great at it though.
I don't
I think we
know.
always played as Joseph and.
Yeah, he's pretty
Jotaro.
tough. I always played Jotaro. Too good in that game. He was really quite a good character. Yeah, that's another wicked fighting game.
Got it on Dreamcast.
Yeah, that was where I first played it on Dreamcast. I got it for a $5 from the game.
I got it from Budget Computer Games.
Yeah, that was when the Dreamcast started to die. You could pick up games.
Yeah,
for
like really, really cheap.
nothing. Yeah, practically nothing.
Good times.
Yeah, that's kind of what got me back into playing games, I suppose. That's because Overwatch has that same thing.
That competitive edge.
Yeah, and then like learning to play a character. I went through about 3 or 4 different characters before I finally settled on Zenyatta, and usually that's how it is. I'll keep like a secondary, but once I've got one character down pat, I'll play that character most of the time, and learn how to counter as many other characters with that character as possible. Obviously, there's some instances where I have to shift up because Zen's not particularly good against specific characters.
Sure.
But if I can, I'll stick with that character, and yeah, that seems to be working quite well. I haven't been playing it for very long, but yeah, I'm already pretty addicted.
I'm going to have to try and fix my PlayStation 4 so that we can play some King of Fighters 4.
Oh, hell yeah, I'm definitely up for that.
It's got to be done.
Yeah, wicked game, that.
Cool.
Kind of dragged off a bit.
Yeah, we went off on a
That's
tangent
alright,
there,
that's
but,
The history of SNK fighters.
Yeah. So, Middlemeister, another Italian stranger.
Yeah, you want to play SNK fighting games?
No, oddly enough, I haven't. No, I've been playing Wolfenstein 2. There's still kind of like a retro vibe to it.
I suppose.
That's from Machine Games, published by Bethesda, obviously. Yeah. As
Shadow 2, yeah.
I believe they used to make Wolfenstein games a few years ago, but you know.
They made the one before it, didn't they?
They
they
publish it. They don't.
They made the 2 last ones before it, didn't they? They made Wolfenstein, then they made Wolfenstein The New Order.
They did the New Order,
And the
then
expansion.
they did the expansion, which was the Old Blood.
Yeah.
And they were both really, really
They did
good.
one before that as well, didn't they?
Yeah,
Just
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one
that
I
was-
didn't play that ties into the New Order,
Yeah,
which then
That was
confused
meant to be not that good. Yeah.
How am I supposed to know who this character is? Oh yeah, she was in that game that you never play. It's like,
Yeah, that's
thanks.
I really liked The New Order, but I didn't like Wolfenstein 2.
Alright.
Yeah, and it was storyline-wise, maybe. Yeah, like the gameplay is still kind of the
I've
same.
heard a
but-
lot of people say the same
Yeah.
thing. They like the gameplay. They way prefer the first one to the second.
Yeah, the first one was way better. Like, much cooler game, yeah.
Oh shit! Please tell me I backed up my Wolfenstein save before the PlayStation died.
Uh-oh.
Oh shit!
So this one's Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, is the subtitle of this one. It follows on pretty much. Your character almost dies at the end of the first one. He looks like he's going to die.
Second one, technically.
Well, yeah, the first one on these generation of consoles, like
Yeah,
the proper,
sure.
yeah. The
One
first
that
one is-
directly
Isn't it like the
ties in.
6th one, Ted?
Well,
No,
no,
it's like
in
a
this
20.
series, in this reboot, so.
Yeah, so that's the New Order. I think it's that one wasn't
Well,
it?
no, 'cause you
Yeah.
had Wolfenstein,
Yeah.
then the New Order, then.
The old one, and then the new one. But this is
and then this
Wolfenstein
one.
2, so we're specifically saying the other one is the first one.
Yeah, well, this one's Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus.
Yeah.
So it puts
Now
that
we
bit in
cleared that
there.
all up.
Yeah,
There we go.
and you're
Like to
kind of
count Bethesda. Please.
you start in a wheelchair, and it has like a really cool opening scene where you take on Nazis with your guns and stuff, but you're in a wheelchair the whole time. So one arm's moving the wheelchair, and the other one's using the gun, which was actually really good fun. And you have to get out of that situation. And this time, the other one, I don't remember having it kind of had one, but this one you have like a proper base. And the cool thing about the base is it's a submarine, so it can move around.
It did have a base in the first one, but it wasn't like you went there sort of certain in between certain missions.
Yeah, all you really did there was sleep. So
you didn't really do much.
Wolfenstein, the really old Wolfenstein one, but you didn't do much there. This one, there's a bit more to do there. There's DLC that's been added, and that's like a virtual reality kind of thing, and you do that from the submarine. Because I don't know, most people know the general idea. It's like 1960s. Alternate few, like
it's the Nazis won, wasn't it?
Yeah, they dropped the bomb on Manhattan rather than the US dropping the bomb on Hiroshima and so on. So that's you go to all these sort of places.
So the US create anime, and then it just all goes horrendously wrong.
Well, that would be bad. But yeah, you go to Manhattan, see it bombed out, and you have. I think what sets Wolfenstein apart from most first-person shooters is. It's like single player only. They don't do it.
It's actually good.
Yeah, there's no multiplayer, so all their time and money and attention spent on story, and it has like really, really good characters, especially for a modern sort of shooter.
So, just going to modern shooters, I've played a lot of shooters over my life. Early Wolfenstein, Doom, Quake.
Classic ID games.
Played a lot of arena shooters, Quake 3, Unreal Tournament, stuff like that. Tribes. But when it came to modern shooters, I couldn't give a shit anymore.
I'm exactly the same.
Call of Duties, like Battlefield was great until after Vietnam.
The odd exceptions I liked. I really liked The Darkness. That was a cool little game. Again, because it was single player and had a good story.
Yeah, it's quite original. Yeah, I like Butcher Bay. That Ridley.
That was brilliant game.
Butcher Bay. That's a good game.
It was really, because I remember it came out on the Xbox One, didn't it? But it looked like a 360 game.
Yeah, the original.
It looked fantastic.
Yeah. Vin Diesel actually putting in a bit of effort.
Yeah.
Rather than just putting the whole thing in, Which is what you normally get with video game voiceovers.
Where I was going with that was where most shooters absolutely suck balls. The Wolfenstein ones have been consistently decent.
Yeah.
Doom 2016. Fucking
that was
amazing.
Great. Yeah, very good.
And I was like, I haven't played many shooters in the last 15 years, say, that have been actually any good. Like, I was trying to think of some of the good ones. What was that one that sold on the PlayStation 3? Like there was like aliens, and they come from Russia or some kind of disease. Resistance Fall of Man.
Yes,
because that was like a page out of my dream journal. That was look, London's been destroyed. Yes.
Such a London setting, he still plays a fucking American.
Yeah, which is always horrible. We know how that goes, but
actually, everything with brown, wasn't it? That 360 shooter, everything was brown.
That's it.
Red, greens,
browns and greys. Yeah.
But, so there was that. That was pretty good. I never played the sequel of that one, even though I got it. But that was quite fun.
Those, wasn't it?
That's great.
Yeah, it's a trilogy top at the end. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So the one where you fought against the Hellcast.
That's Killzone. Killzone was the other one I wanted to throw there. Killzone I liked because that reminded me of the old Medal of Honors.
The AI for the multiplayer now, the multiplayer was ridiculously hard bots and that.
Alright, I've never played that.
Weasel, we teamed up against a couple of AI bots and they absolutely trounced us. We were like trying to be the only way we had to be was we had to start being really stealthy, like ambush them. We weren't even on a hard level. They just absolutely trounced us.
GG. I quite like that game, Killzone, because it reminded me of the old Medal of Honor games, where they're like checkpoint based, where enemies just keep on coming unless you rush the fuck out of them. It kind of rewards you to push forwards. Then after the Killzone series, it was like, well, everything kind of sucked up until Wolfenstein came out again.
That multiplayer focus ruined it for me.
Yeah, because they started to take away.
The story part would be about 6 hours. And
the story part was
literally... Games like that should be separate, really, shouldn't they? Like either a multiplayer or a single player, because you don't really get the... I don't think you can ever really focus, like you're saying, on the single player very well if you've got a multiplayer element as well.
Well, in some cases they were good. Like, I don't know, Halo was okay, but they dragged that one out too far. That had a really good multiplayer and a decent single player. But like when you started to go Call of Duty, where literally the single player was just there to get you into the multiplayer.
Tacked on,
with a few set pieces.
It was just like, really? And then when they did it to Battlefield as well, I was like, Really? Are we just going to start releasing these games every year now? They're going to be exactly the same stuff, but you're going to take more and more folk. Like,
well, that's what gaming is now. I don't know if you do that, Skazz.
Well, I've clearly lived under a rock. Phantasy Star Universe, you know.
Assassin's Creed 400, you know. Like,
oh, don't get me started on that series, please, God. But it's like when you start taking away more and more of the focus from the single-player campaign. It's like just get rid of the single-player campaign.
Yeah.
Please, just do that. And then when Wolfenstein the New Order came out, and it was like, was it New Order? Yeah, it was New Order.
Yeah, New Order.
I was really nervous to play that. And same with Doom, because I had that phrase, I was like, no, Bethesda's published it, it's going to be shit. And then I got Doom 2016 for my birthday that year, and I was like, shit, like it's Doom, and I love Doom, but it's a Bethesda game, I'm probably going to hate it, because I generally hate Bethesda games.
But then Doom was really good.
Oh, well, I went through and played Wolfenstein, I was like, okay, shit. They haven't completely fucked this up. Oh my god, like the fact that I was actually playing a game where I didn't automatically get health and bullets start falling out of my flesh when I buy
I thought they were on a roll, because I played Wolfenstein and I loved it. I played Doom and I loved it. I played Wolfenstein 2 and I hated it. Just because it was the way the story had changed, and it seemed like it moved away from what the first story was getting at, and the characters all seemed really different.
Right.
Like, it got really political and stuff, and the first game was obviously political because it's based in a war period, but it seemed more seriously political, whereas the second one was all kind of modern Tumblr politics, and I just kind of was like, ugh, couldn't play it. Just,
they've gone a little bit too far forward.
Yeah.
Everything went a bit wrong.
I think you definitely like Wolfenstein 2.
Yeah.
I still confess the fucking first one.
You definitely hate politics for the same reason I do too. There's specific characters in it that I know you would loathe. You would absolutely despise, the same as I did.
It's like, initially, you know, the German soldier in...
he was cool, and then the guy that because he was looking after the disabled guy, wasn't
well,
he?
Initially,
he was cool as well.
Initially, I didn't like the German soldier.
But that was the idea.
Well, I didn't like the whole group, and then we're like, yeah, well, he's like this because literally, or he was a member of the Nazi party, and then all of a sudden he had a child, and they came and killed his child because they were
disabled.
Yeah, and I was like, you motherfuckers, right? He's my best mate. You're all dead.
You got like you had a choice, didn't you? 'Cause you could get an optional companion in the first one, and depending on who you saved
at the start,
at the beginning. So if you saved, I think it's if you saved the old guy, you got female Nikola Tesla, and if you saved the young guy, you got basically Jimi Hendrix. And I think it is alluded to that he's supposed to be Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Because I want to throw out there, holy fucking crap, that choice. So I saved the young guy.
I did too, purely because I thought the older guy would appreciate it.
It's like, holy crap. The young dude, when you meet him later on in the game, has had a right fucking breakdown, hasn't he? Because you saved him. It was like, well, shit, you should have saved this guy. Like, he did not appreciate being saved.
He's one hell of a cool villain, isn't he? I mean, he's really quite a scary dude. So it's like...
I love doing this one.
Yeah.
She's in the original one.
Yes, yeah.
On New Order, you meet her on a train and you have that really good conversation with her.
Oh, fuck, I hate her. I want to pull her over the fucking table and murder her right there. She gets properly wrecked, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's really evil. Messed up by that machine you're in, doesn't she?
Oh, shame. You got hurt. Fuck you.
Because I remember there's a bit you pick her up in the thing and you see her face on and she's just like had half her face ripped.
Yeah, that's it.
She has her still with it.
She got so fucking aggro, didn't she, in that game?
Yeah.
I was like,
she's a brilliant villain, a really good villain to hate. But yeah, she's back as kind of like main adversary this time.
Yeah.
But I think what I really like about
I'm going to enjoy killing her.
Yeah, they have like a really good story, like an emotional story, but to play, they're just really good fun. Just mowing down Nazis after Nazis.
It's a classic shooter. It's a proper old school style shooter with pretty graphics.
Yeah. However, one of my big issues with number 2 is that isn't so much the case as with number 1 because there's not as much gameplay. There's lots of talky, and hardly shooty. Not as much as there should be, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, maybe. In this one, there is a lot of shooty.
I thought the one before it had a lot more action, and then the second one dumbed it down a little bit.
Yeah, but I enjoyed the story part of it, though.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed all that. I like the characters. Like the one who plays your sort of girlfriend is a really likeable character and.
Throwing knives still overpowered.
It's my only question.
You can still pretty like one kill with the stealth.
You could fucking
You could go for the whole game with it, couldn't you?
Yeah,
Well, shit, I didn't realise until the prison escape. I was like, oh, fucking throw a knife. Because my mate Devine was like, oh yeah, mate, stealth's great in this game. I was like, fuck that. I've got a big ass gun. They're all going the fuck down. And then they take all the guns away in the prison escape. I was like, shit, I'm now in the stealth section. I suck at these. And I lobbed the throwing knife at this guy. He went down.
I love it.
Then this guy
for the bounce off, and they just go, oh, die.
Oh look, I caught him in the big toe. Oh, he's bled out.
They are still pretty powerful, yeah.
I've just dinged him in his big old helmet. He's dead. What?
If you stab a dude in a helmet, he is going to go down. You know?
Like straight down, like exactly. Not like that bad, but still.
New engine for this one, though. It looks spectacular. Like it really. From the last one, it's gone up a lot in that sense.
Yeah, cinematics definitely.
Well, it's not going to happen for me because I'll probably play it on the Switch. So I'll look like a toasty.
It's on the way for Switch, isn't it? Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. That'd be a tough one to squeeze down on that, I think, in some ways.
No, they already did it with Doom. They'll do it. They'll fucking do it.
Because that got patched recently, isn't it? It's looking even better, Doom, on the Switch, quite recently.
I don't know if it got patched to look better. But then again, I got like 2/3 of the way through the game and only had 2 real cases of bad slowdown. Looks like a pasty, but no, they added in motion aiming.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So, which isn't bad because that's in Splatoon, and that's really good because it helps you do precision aim, and that's how I play shooters on the Steam controller. Do quick movements with the trackpad. If you need to make micro adjustments to go for headshots or whatever quickly, just literally use the gyro. Fucking makes first-person shooters amazing with a control pad.
That does sound good, yeah.
So
still can't be the old mouse keyboard combo for an FPS. So
yeah, I suppose.
I'd highly recommend it though, because especially if like yourself, you're kind of a bit tired of the multiplayer short campaign kind of stuff. If you want a proper story,
modern shooters. Well,
campaign shooters,
definitely modern shooters, but playing Wolfenstein and that just blew my mind. I was like, oh, you still remember how to make these things?
Yeah, exactly. There's one company out there that still make that proper old, you know.
Why do they have to be published by Bethesda? You bastards!
Well, at least they.
Well, at least they put.
They got money and stuff.
Yeah, well, that's what I said at the end of as I was playing through New Order. I was like, I'm going to actually have to thank Bethesda for this one because they actually, and same when Doom 2016 came out, because they had to scrap Doom 2016 like halfway through the development.
I remember that.
I was like, thank you for actually giving them the chance to develop this game, because most other publishers just said, fuck you, we're just going to scrap it, or you release whatever crap you had at the time.
Yeah.
Doom 2016 had a damn good soundtrack as well.
Yes.
We have to go through that because you can pick it up dead cheap now, so.
Oh yeah.
You've been able to pick it up dead cheap for a fair while now, but I own it on every platform. I've got it on PC,
It's made it expensive.
PS4, a Switch. Now, loads of people say, well, was it really worth getting on the Switch when you own it on everything? I was like, fucking yes, it was. Because I had another chance to go through and kill loads of people. Not that I'm a violent guy.
No. And you could do any ring you wanted as well with the Switch. Even on the bus if you want.
Exactly. People are like, oh my god! And you're like, yeah! As you throw up all just shotgun someone in the face. Get up, bitches! It's like, kick the old person that's in front of you.
Kids that age were playing Animal Crossing, though. So,
fuck you, no, douche! Fucking start shooting people. Play this, kid!
I do like Animal Crossing, mind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not Doom.
No.
But imagine if it was.
You could shoot Rossetti in the face, that'd be amazing. You fucking bastard telling me I can't reset, it's not a game. Yes, it is!
Tom Nook is pretty brutal.
He deserves it.
He's driving families out of their homes.
Money,
he's got that bedroom tax, hasn't he, old Tom Nook?
He's an
evil bastard.
Yeah, he's a bad dude.
Can't trust him.
No. But yeah, Wolfenstein 2, very good game. People that like story-based shooters, like the old style, rather than all that multiplayer rubbish.
Cool.
Yeah.
Before Call of Duty ruined everything.
And it looks amazing as well.
Awesome. Well, I've been playing a game called Rimworld.
Oh right, yeah, I've heard of this.
I've seen a movie with that name.
Yeah, I bet you have. Is that for your specialist collection?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's the
It's interesting. It's a game that's sort of like a top-down, I won't say strategy game, it's sort of like strategy and colony builder game. But the guy who develops it, the whole point of it is actually just to tell you, let it be emergent gameplay and tell you a story. So you play as, you are in control of 3 survivors, and they're like in this ship that's like a cruiser ship that breaks up out in deep space near one of the Rimworlds. and you crash land as well as lots of other people, you'll crash land, you'll escape. But you're 3 colonists, and you sit on this planet, and you've basically got to survive. So you start off like the usual. It's like a survival game, but it's top down. So you'll start off building, harvesting wood, planting crops, and so forth. And gradually over time, you'll build your base up and so forth. But what makes it interesting is the fact that it's designed very much to allow full-on emergent gameplay to things, the way that colonists interact. So all concepts like a mood, and that's affected like Sims. They've moods that's affected by lots of little things like, they'll be
left the toilet seat up.
Yeah, well, you say that.
Who left the milk out again?
Well, things like when you first land, they sort of they start off with a real boost because it says they're optimistic about, because they say they're commonly, they're sort of they've got a bit of determination, they're going to survive this. That only lasts like 3 days.
Yeah, I was going to say next week comes around, they're killing each other and everything's on
fire.
Negative
modifiers they sighted like dead corpses, so if you kill an animal and leave it rotting there and don't do anything with it, they get a bit upset because they keep seeing it sort of decomposing.
Well, then do something about it, you whiny bastard.
Well, they can, but you have to sort of tempt it to build basically you need to build like a crematorium to burn it up, or you can build like graves, and they'll bury it and so forth.
Right. If they keep complaining, they're going to go into one of those graves.
But you can also build sarcophaguses as well for the
as you do, Jesus.
So I have got trouble. They get annoyed at any dead body because crematoriums are actually quite expensive to build. You need granite. I've got no granite. I've just got like this sort of cemetery of all the various pirates.
Go to Pirate Base and just get a kitchen.
Just use cords instead.
Yeah. I've got this little cemetery in the corner, which is every time a pirate fights me and I kill them, I can't leave them there because everyone gets upset by the rotting dead corpse of this pirate slowly decomposing into a skeleton. So I've just got this little graveyard full of dead pirates and raiders.
God damn, so these people never heard of ancient Rome. Just stick them up on a pole or something.
I was going to say, just like,
what I started with one who was an ex-marine, I started one who was a teacher, and one who was an engineer. And that was the development skills. They all have their own skills. They range level 1 to 20. So I have a skill in crafting, which is doing craft things.
Crafting things, sneaky bastard.
Baking clothes, using stone tools to turn granite rocks into blocks you can then use to build with. They can be good at hunting. They can be good at research.
I have a question.
Yes.
Seeing as you said that you started off with these 3 people and they ended up being what? Is this the same every time, or
Nope,
is it randomised?
Randomised. So I think there's basically where it works.
Is it always 3 different people, or does it random? Oh, that's good. So
it's complete random.
You can't randomise. So you start with 3 Marines then.
No. Yeah. Well, you could, because you can basically gives you, when you start the game, you choose the planet. What's it going to be like? You choose where you're going to land, and there's different climates. So you could start with temperate on glass near a river, but you can have tropical jungles, Arab areas, desert areas, snowy Arctic areas as well. So you can really pick where you're going to land.
Good survival. I want to land in the Arctic area. We're in the middle of the desert.
Good choice. But then you'll get presented. It'll have all this 3 survivors for it. There'll be another 5 you can swap them out with.
Okay.
And it says, who do you want to leave behind? These shows you 5 other people that you got to say you're not coming with me. But you can just click on them, click re-randomise, and it'll just regenerate a new character for you.
You don't make the cut. See you later, mate.
Yeah, but just say it encourages you to do so. If you randomise, but at the same day, you shouldn't be clicking it again and again and again till you get a really high spec character, because it can happen. Right. But they don't want you to do that. You've got to say, look, just pick
Baldur's Gate 2. I'm going to roll them dice for the next 3 hours till I get full stats.
Yes.
Rolls.
So I had this array, and they're good at craft, they're good at hunting, they're good at being a doctor, which is very important. I made sure it's always good to be a doctor. You need to treat people.
This guy looks good, Harold Shipman. I'll stick him in my.
Yeah.
Oh no! Everybody's getting upset because there's dead bodies everywhere. That's so good.
Yeah. So you build a base up, and eventually what happens is you'll get pods might crash nearby. You can trap minerals and metal from the pods that's crashed, or if you won't find a survivor, and you can nurse it back to health.
You might find a survivor.
Well, they might be dead when you get there. You might kill them.
Everybody gets
you might kill them. Keep going.
And if you nurse it back to health, but that's the guarantee.
Definitely kill if you set Dr. Shipman on the job. You've got to save the doctor. Oh shit!
Yeah.
That happened.
Then, if you get attacked by pirates or raids, if you take him down without killing them, you can capture them, and then you can basically like go full sort of Stockholm syndrome on them.
You can brainwash them like Americans.
Basically, you can. That's why I've got 8 colonists now, half of which I've captured. I managed to
basically set up some sort of space gulag.
Well,
sounds like
sure, it is a bit like a cult.
Reconditioning.
So my first person I lost was the Marine, and he got into a fight with a raider, which I didn't know about. Of course, that's the trouble. His notifications are not very in your face.
You were just like, oh fuck off, mate! Stop texting me.
No, it was just like I sort of thought you're being attacked. But am I? No, I just Cameron's jumped from him. He'd been knocked unconscious, and as part of this rage, just picked up my shoulder and just walked off of him. It's like, God, I've not seen him since.
You want bollocks to you,
I'm about 16, 17 hours now into what I've not even got anywhere close to building what I need to get off the planet. 16, 17 hours in. That happened like 11 hours ago. I've never seen him since.
He's having a good time.
Yeah.
I think he is.
Now he's the hand of the raid.
It's been a few years since he disappeared now, so he's probably been like, I'm expecting to raid someone else's base and find him there, like sort of defending it.
You wanker, you traitorous bastard. You didn't even come after me! All we have is a bloody teacher! What did you want to do? I can wrap you around the knuckles with a ruler!
Yeah.
Wish you could have done something!
Stern telling off.
Yeah, and you can... Anything has to be researched. So, like basic weapons, you have to like research how to build basic weapons, and you gradually work up to like rifling and machine guns.
We're not going to do that now. The fucking army dude's gone.
Yeah,
the teacher's not going to do it up.
Well, you say that. Recent news thinking, you know, like I'm the teachers.
All my cars are with longbows at the moment.
Fucking hell! Good job concealing that bastard.
Yeah. So, well, we're not bleeding still, carry. But you have to set a bit like sort of the Sims. You have to set like sort of recreation areas so they can relax, because otherwise they will get stressed out. And when they get stressed out, eventually their mood basically drops and drops and drops and drops, and they have what they call mental break, and they can even random things. So like they could. Yes.
Do you remember The Sims, that time when we killed everybody in the neighborhood and we left that man in the house who got haunted by ghosts every single night till he was mad? That kind of thing.
Well, one of the characters just several times they just basically just start wandering around in their days. They won't eat or drink or sleep, they'll just wander around.
It was even better as I made him look like Rob Harris and called him Rob Harris. That was before we knew about Rob Harris.
Oh, good time. Oh, look, the ladder for the swimming pool is gone. What do you mean you don't know how to get out of the
pool? So,
what do you mean the doors disappeared and you pissed yourself when you don't know what to do?
What do you mean everybody else in the neighbourhood is dead? Just this one guy is still alive, and then we set him up to be the murderer, didn't we?
Good time.
So, you also can like, there's also animals, so you start the game, you get like random pets. So I've got Gordon the Yorkshire Terrier.
Oh, bless.
And also later on I did acquire some alpacas. Who
random.
That was fine, but then I realised I hadn't planted enough food, and we got to the point where everyone was starting to starve to death, so I had to make a decision and kill one of the alpacas for food.
Why didn't you kill the teacher?
You can do that.
Aha!
You can kill your colonists and eat them, but people get a bit annoyed with it.
Yeah. Is there anything
unless they've got cannibalism,
I was going to say,
then they're quite happy with it.
You're going to either have to deal with getting upset with these dead bodies, or there is a way around this, you know? Like,
you can butcher people if you really want to.
We're going to be reducing your carbon footprint. You whine a bit too much.
I might have to play this game. It sounds like you're doing some fun, twisted shit.
You can do. So that was the first one, and then my second colonist who I lost was Minus and Mox. There was a cave, and he got crushed and killed. Trouble was, he got married to this other colonist who already had the depression stat, which meant she had minus 12 to her move all the time. And then he gets killed, and I have to bury him in a sarcophagus. And
you just left him in the middle of the left him at the side of the road.
He mined these resources. He's been buried in the way he lived, so it's fine.
She then gets a minus 40 for that, because she gets minus 40 for the fact she was married to him.
That's a widow.
Yeah, no,
she was depressed just because she was married, or depressed because her
husband died. And she gets another minus 3 because a friend of hers died, which is the same person. Which is lucky, really. It's a good job.
That's a bit of a toss-up.
Yeah. So that's going to wall, but false chat. And that's there we go.
It's breaking everything. Next, you have to go, mate.
So she then had a mental break and basically started trying to kill everybody. So I then had to like get everybody to get ready to run up to her and just start clubbing her to the ground.
I like her a bit more than since she went a bit soft.
And drag her out, drag her up, put her back to bed, and then she recovered. And she was
alright, actually. All you need is a nap, love. You'll be fine.
No, they get a bonus because it says, I'm glad I let all that aggression out. They get like a plus 40 bonus to their moves. So the trouble is, she's always on the edge because she's got like this, because basically the year is split into there's 54 seasons, which they're called a quartarian, and each season's got 15 days in it. And she's going to be depressed. She was going to be depressed for 3 whole quartarians, 45 days of depression of her husband. Then she'll get over it.
I've had enough of that prick now. He's gone.
So that was the second death I had on my hands. The third death. So basically,
you turn it into an obituary.
You can build like power systems and so forth, but you've got to be a bit careful.
Who forgot to turn it off before we started working?
All your survivors just shit at their jobs. The miner dies mining. The Marine died in a fight.
Now you put it that way. Yeah. But it's hazardous, but then a lot of Marines die fighting, a lot of miners die mining.
Yeah.
So,
but you're specifically died doing their jobs.
Yeah, but they're in a dangerous environment, aren't they?
The teacher died in a freak classroom.
Got hit by a protractor. But then there's a disaster. So you have to have, if you've got food, you have to keep it refrigerated.
Yeah.
So with air conditioning, you have to keep it refrigerated. Obviously, the summer, otherwise it goes off logically. So I had all my food. I had literally something like 12, 15,000 like different food items ready in refrigeration. That was going to last me for months, or even years.
Bye refrigerator.
Yeah, the power contract explodes and set fire to the air conditioning unit. I then discovered that building all my buildings out of wood was not a good idea. I'm saying all the colonists try and fight this fire, but it's spreading fast so they can contain it. So let's set fire to the buildings. Then it starts setting fire to the food in the buildings, which all starts burning up. Then it starts setting fire to the second. Then it starts setting fire to it's like wasting food again. Then it starts setting fire to the secondary food store next door, which was space up. That catches fire. It then starts travelling down the power conduit and makes its way towards the solar panels, which catch fire and burn down. But then it gets to the batteries, which catch fire and burn down. Then it gets to the living quarters, which start catching fire. At this point, I managed to get under control. It also makes its way to the hospital wing. It starts setting fire to the beds. With all the people who like passed out from fighting the fire were in the beds. It starts setting fire to the beds that they were in. So I'd send people to go rescue them, take them to another bed so they can recover from any movement along the wall. I had to go from the room they always sustained in the first fire. Because it's a bit like Draw Fortress.
How's this depressed woman getting on for all?
Not well. She's still there. It's like Draw Fortress.
She's the one that started the fire.
It's like Draw Fortress. Every character's got like people can have like a slightly punctured left lower lung, or like they can have their right
slightly punctured,
or like their left finger could be like broken. That's all detail of injuries they can sustain and so forth. Like one of my characters got an infection of being bitten by a vicious squirrel.
As you do.
And then, but I've run out of antibiotics, so I just had to hope they got over it. They nearly died from it. But yeah, so basically, after this all happened, I had all my food supplies were burnt up. All 12,000 units of food were all gone.
Oh well.
And it was winter time, so I couldn't grow anything.
Oh well.
And I had no power, so I couldn't power the stove. So I had to cheat all my colonists. All they did was spend all their days on, because there aren't many animals about in the winter either. So all my colonists spent all their days just going around hunting like small rabbits, including the one who's 96, and he's not doing well because and they all start to starve to death because literally they're killing someone because they're so hungry, they're eating it before they even get a chance to cook it. So eating all the stuff raw, which makes them more depressed because they're not eating cooked food. And eventually, my old guy, who's my researcher, who's level 20 research, and he's doing all my research for me, dies of malnutrition.
Oh, no. He's got bollocks to this.
But there's a bonus. It turns out that Kenya, the woman who's massively depressive, really didn't like him. So she gets a bonus to him being dead.
Oh, brilliant.
So he gets bonus. So I'm now at the stage now where things are still occasionally catching fire. I'm controlling.
At least you got a bit of warmth.
I start building things up. Yeah, I've nearly got power now, so at night it's like disco because there's enough power because I've got solar powers and wind turbines, but there's not quite enough power to power the whole base, so like every room's sort of lighting up randomly. It's like disco night in the base.
I need to go to the toilet. Turn off the fucking line!
So we're gradually getting power back in. We're gradually being about food is a bit. I'm waiting. I'm just hoping for a trader to turn up, just like sell some of my resources, buy me some food. Because I'm like, I did have a trader, but he's an exotic goods trader. He doesn't trade in the food. It's like, cheers, mate.
Not for you as an exotic good, for everyone else.
Like, he would sell it. I could buy a person off him. He had 3 people for sale.
That's something to eat then.
Yeah, but no, could I buy food? Could I? Heck. It's like, brilliant. Thanks, mate.
Well, he had 3 people for sale.
So, they were $1,000 each. And I only had 100.
Well, what's more important?
Money. So
I'm going to just start eating my money.
Yeah, so I'm sorry guys, I've got cramp in my back leg. Actually, I'm going to stand up, this is quite painful. Ah, shit.
I'm so excited watching people die.
God.
Look at him go!
Oh,
it's like Eagle.
Yes, master.
Oh, this is getting edited out.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, this is going to make a fucking brilliant remix video.
Oh, that really hurts.
Someone's got a royalty tune this.
That really hurts.
Whatever you say, man.
Playing out the loop over the whole thing. Sit down for Christ's sake.
No, I can't. My leg's cramped up.
Just come off.
No.
The depressed woman would.
Yeah. See, that's the trouble. So it'll be good in a minute.
Can we talk about TV we've been watching?
Yeah, how can you be a PC gamer if you can't handle sitting down for a couple of minutes?
Yeah, but it's in a comfy chair. I'm used to painful chairs.
It's used to being in agony. What's going on?
So yeah, Rimworld, really good.
Yeah, how much was it?
It's
It's just on Linux, so I was looking at it.
It's a full price game. I think I paid 30 quid for it.
Fuck that!
It's worth it, honestly.
I say fuck that, but I went and spent 70 quid for a digital version of the game I already own. So,
Bear in mind, we do like sim games where you can fuck with people.
yeah.
That was our bread and butter for a while.
Honestly, you will like Rimworld.
Torturing Bob Newbie. Good times.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, you good?
Yeah, just about.
Right, Eagle, sort it out.
Yes, master.
That's fair.
Oh, my leg.
No, not your leg. Don't start, we'll cut it off.
But yeah, I can't think what else to say now. Yeah, it's a great basically kind of about, but yeah, it's really what's other nice about it is you can also pick, so as an AI storyteller, it's got you can pick a personality for it. So you've got ones that will make it really exciting. You've got ones that will like ramp the difficulty up slowly. You've got ones that will keep it a lot more mellowed for you, and then you can put like sub personalities of them as well. So you can really choose how vicious you want it to be. You can make it like everything wants to attack you from day one.
Every Friday, the narrator goes clinically insane and just...
Yeah.
Narrator Christopher Walken. Game is sorted.
Yeah. It's yeah.
And then the depressed woman, she just came along and she fucked everybody up. Big style.
Well, Kenya is now having a way with another college called Ness. So they're now going to get married again, and they're now sleeping back in the bed she was sharing with her husband who got killed in rock mine.
Better set fire to that.
Yeah. So yeah, I've now started building everything out of rock now, so it can't catch fire anymore.
Please just lock her in a cave somewhere.
She's okay. She's good at hunting.
Because she's mental!
But I have to be careful. I don't give her too many. I have to be sort of careful like what weapons.
Don't give her too many E numbers.
Well, I did make a mistake once of one time giving her a rifle, and then she went mentally insane, so I tried to kill everybody. Oh, she tried to kill my ram. I'm actually.
So you lost your shit
No.
out there?
Yeah, I killed her. No, I didn't kill her. I knocked her out. I managed to tame an ibex ram, and she got this mental break where she's just going to start killing all the animals. And she started making headway for the ibex ram, who's soundly asleep. So I had to tell anybody out there full pelt with their sort of various sticks to beat her down, back down again.
How you deal with mental health?
It is. That's how you do it.
Clubs.
They either get over after like 3 hours. They either get over it, or you beat them down with clubs and put them to bed.
That's a very American way of dealing with things, isn't it?
It is. But you don't risk injuring them if you do it that way. Or you also get like heat waves and cold waves, and you've got to be careful because you might think in like close people get like hypothermia or hypothermia.
What a wonderful game.
It is
Just a
really,
prettier version of Dwarf Fortress then.
yes, it is very much like Dwarf Fortress, and the whole idea is to try to tell you a story, let your colony have a story, there is an end game. As you graduate for your research, you can get to the point where you can build parts to build a rocket, and then once you build a rocket, you then obviously launch yourself.
Can you mount that woman to the front of the rocket and launch it?
I don't know, I haven't managed to research it because my head researcher died of malnutrition.
Well, there you go.
So at the moment, I've got no one who can really do any research. So I'm now in the process of I might have to go very nearby camp to find like a scientist. So
Kids have for research.
Yeah, so I do some research. Yeah, so that's Rimworld. So moving on to TV. Got anything for TV from anybody?
Not from me.
No.
Nope.
Have you got anything?
I have.
I was going to throw something in there now, but now you've said it, I'm not.
You can throw it in there.
Well, no one would like it,
What
because it's just for me. It's an anime, slice of life anime called Bakuan that came out in 2016. And I'd first seen it on an anime like advertisement, like, oh, here's what's coming soon. So it's a weird one because I don't think many people are going to like it. But I thought it was actually
Why
fucking
wouldn't they
great.
like it?
Because it's about motorcycles.
Okay.
And I've been having a bit of withdrawal.
I was
recently.
expecting I thought it was something controversial or something like.
Oh, was it? It's about motorcycles.
Yeah.
It's
I like how like anime can be just basically about anything. Yeah. You get all the sports ones and stuff now, don't you?
some of the boxing ones, the basketball ones.
Boxing ones are fucking ace though, aren't they? Like, they're always really good.
My mate Ulaf always recommends those. But I'm yet to actually sit down and watch one.
Oh, Hajime Ippo, got to see that. It's brilliant.
I have to check it out. I still haven't finished season 2 of JoJo.
Have you?
No.
Oh, you haven't seen the amazing season 4 yet then?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Season 4 is where it's at. It's probably one of my favourites.
I'll have to check it out. Which I'll actually ask a question in a minute. But so this anime is a standard slice of life, next to no real story, just kind of a coming of age story.
Yeah.
Chance meeting, this girl's riding to school on her push bike. Another girl that goes to the school turns up on a motorcycle. She gets interested in motorcycles. They start a motorcycle club with a random person that was at school, and they just
Sounds
do.
radically with schoolgirls, typical Japanese style.
It's neat because all of these characters from different kind of areas of life just come and they just unite because of their love of motorcycles. They travel the country and experience all the great things that motorcycling has to offer, like being cold, wet, miserable, breakdowns. Yeah. Well, there's one bloke. He rides Ducati because he's a butler. This rich girl is obsessed with like becoming a member of, you know, like the Sons of Anarchy style stuff, like becoming a member of a motorcycle gang. So she wants to be a rebel, but she always rides around in his sidecar on this Ducati. But the Ducati, even though Ducati were part of the production of this anime, they make it break down all the time. Just like a regular Ducati. Like, the engine will blow up, the whole thing will just fall apart. It's fucking great.
Any triumphs in there?
No, which was an odd one. So they go with the main 4 Japanese manufacturers. You've got your Honda, Suzuki, Kawasaki, and Yamaha. So each one of the main characters rides one of those bikes, and then the rich girl
plays the keyboard as well.
But good old Yamaha. Because their logo is the tuning fork, isn't it?
Yeah.
For the bikes, which is a good one. Everyone seems to hate Suzuki in that one. I haven't quite figured out why they all hate Suzuki. Maybe I'm missing something about Suzuki that I
A bit of
haven't
an anime plot twist.
Yeah, that's it. It's only a 12
Suzuki
episode
trying to
show,
save them all.
which was a shame. It was really weird because I really got into it because I'm having a bit of a midlife crisis. I need to go out and buy a motorcycle.
You've got some.
I need another one. I need another
He
one.
needs to go out and join an anime schoolgirl motorcycle club.
Exactly. And it is. It would be great just touring the country on my bike. Well, they have one of my favourite bikes in this, so I had to watch it. Which is the one that everyone says is the most boring bike in the series, but I love that bike.
Are you going to tell us what the bike is?
CB 400 Super 4. Absolutely love that fucking bike.
Classic,
You're clueless. Well, I ride on the CB 500. So I've always wanted a Super 4, but they're mainly Japanese bikes, so I can't seem to get hold of one. And if you do try and get one over here, they're really fucking expensive. But there's a gorgeous one that's like you occasionally see it riding around here. And I'm like, oh, I want that.
Steal it.
I'd love to. I know for a fact I'd probably mistreat it.
Yeah, I've seen your bikes.
Yeah, they're pretty ratty.
You look after bikes, I can look after my cars.
Yeah, pretty much.
Set up less muddy boots in them.
Yeah. But I really like the series. It's just like basically how they go through riding school, how they pick their first bikes, why they pick their first bikes, how they maintain their bikes, the tours they go on and why they go on the tours, with a little bit of friendship in the background, the fact that there's a bit of history behind one of the members of the bike club. Because none of them can ride big bikes because they're too young. They have to ride on a restricted license, so they all have to ride like 400s and that. Except one member of
the college for you, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty well. Yeah, except I was riding a big bike. I've always had. I had my CBT, then I went to a full license. Everyone else had to ride restricted bikes, but I didn't. So that was always fun. Even though I do have a bike that would fall into the same class as what they had to ride, because I've got my Kawasaki ZXR 400 H2 import from Japan. Love that bike. One of the characters in it, other than the guy that rides the Ducati with the sidecar, this other character's like, oh yeah, we're riding like a ZXR 1200, like unrestricted completely, because it turns out that one of the characters in the series is actually, she never graduated, or like the character's really weird. She's like the Stig, she always wears a bike helmet all the time.
They love that in Japan, don't they? Do you remember Rival Schools?
Yeah.
Akira always used to wear a motorcycle helmet, and it turns out she's a chick.
That's a surprise. I can't really explain it. It's a slice of life anime where fucking these girls get fucking bikes, they travel around the fucking country. It's great.
So if you're on that Venn diagram of likes motorcycles and likes anime, and if you're that sort of middle part of the Venn diagram, you'll like this series.
Yes, it's really good.
Cool.
You said you were going to sort of compare it to something, didn't you? Or you were going to say something earlier on about something similar?
I don't care anymore. I just want to go and watch my anime now. I want to ask, how do we consume anime these days?
How do we
With my eyes
consume
and all, I find that you can't eat it very well.
I watched most of my stuff on Anime Freak.
Okay, is that still running?
I assume so, yeah. I did start watching on another one, but then that started to link to viruses and stuff. So
okay.
yeah, we can't use that one anymore.
So no Crunchyroll for you then?
No, I just used Anime Freak mainly. The only reason I went to the other one was because, funnily enough, it was the only place I could watch the original Gundam series.
Oh yeah.
And I always wanted to watch it all the way through, so I was like, yeah, I'll watch it on there. And I started watching, Legend of the Galactic Heroes, which I must say has quickly become my favourite anime. It's so good. Yeah, have you watched the old ones?
Yeah.
Because they've redone it, haven't they?
Oh, I don't know, I've got the original.
Oh, if you've got the originals, I'd appreciate a copy of those, because it is awesome. I love it. So
I'll find my stash.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah. I love that anime. I'm just saying, it's so good. They made me want to fix my bikes and abandon everyone.
Right up into the sunset.
Yeah.
So we'll get a minibus one day.
Yeah. Well, that was the old plan, wasn't it?
Get a minibus.
So we go ride.
Paint it blue. Take roundheads on tour.
That's it. And I can ride my motorcycle.
Go to North Korea.
Yeah, that's it.
We'll drive there.
That's untouched. There's fucking, I could probably ride around there all day. No fucker else will have cars other than Kim. Of course, racing, I suppose.
Yeah, but you want to make sure you always there and win.
No, me and Kim. Like that, man. You fucking ain't let him win. He knows.
No.
And if he damages my bike,
I'm sure there's like 6 other races there. They have like a wacky racist thing going on.
Yeah, that's it. Oh dear.
Right, well, I've been watching a TV series, and
does that have motorcycles?
Yes, briefly.
Nick's been watching the Slice of Life anime.
This is a slice of life anime except it's not a slice of life and it's not an anime. It's called La Casa de Papel, which is Spanish for the paper house, but internationally it's called Money Heist.
Oh, okay.
And it's a 13-part series. It's only the first
They
half.
dumbed it down for the international audience. We just call it Money Heist because that's what it is. Like,
Yeah. And it's basically, it follows a group of criminals who are going to take over, and basically take over the Spanish mint, where they print all the banknotes and so forth. And the idea is they're going to basically hold the place hostage, but they're not going to rob it of what's already in there. They're going to hold it hostage for a few days and basically use the printing machines to print money. And of course, they've got printing machines. They can change all the serial numbers and everything else. So they can print legal notes because they've got all the
castle of Cagliostro, isn't it? That's why Lupin wants to steal the castle, because he wants to just get the money printing stuff.
Yeah,
counterfeit everything.
So it basically follows. So the group's led by this guy called Professor, and he sort of works on the outside. And there's 8 people who go in, and all named after. They have all code names after cities. They don't give their real names out to each other.
Okay.
So you've got like a lady girl called Tokyo, who's just like, I can't what she's there for. I think she's the main character.
She's just slice of life anime character.
She narrates it. Yes, actually, she does. She likes one of the other guys likes anime. One of the other guys called Rio likes anime. So when they go out for parties, she dresses up like an anime girl to make him happy. You've got like
Rimworld kicks in. Minus 40 depression.
We've got a guy called Moscow and his son Denver, who are basically they're sort of like he's an ex-miner who then started becoming.
Denver's the last dinosaur.
He started mining into buildings and so forth to basically rob them.
Right.
A chap called Berlin, who's like sort of the lead on the ground as well. So he's one who's actually leading the heist in the building. He's like the one in charge, the one who directly talks to the professor on the outside. You've got Helsinki and Oslo, who are they are like the heavies.
Way too many characters in this show for fun.
That's enough. It's more. There's not that many actually when you go through it.
Yeah, there's way too many.
That's more.
More than 4.
Yeah. So basically, you think it could be like following from playing the heist and then sort of going through it towards the end. Actually, no. The heist happens in the first episode, and what the episode is, you're following like the first 30 episodes follow the first 60 hours of the heist. It progresses with what they're doing, what the police are doing, and the police are trying to find out who they are and trying to try and track them down and find a way to get in there to rescue the hostages. And people decide what they're doing to sort of counter what the police are doing. It's all tension between the two sides, and also within their own group. They start falling apart in terms of disagreements about how they're going to do things. Particularly the one that gave the guy Berlin, who is basically a psychopath. You know, he looks quite sort of. He's sort of dressed a bit quite James Bond when you first meet him. Sort of like always goes around suits and so forth. But when he actually gets in there, he's an absolute psychopath. You know, he just decides to one hostage basically disobeys him slightly, so he decides to have him executed. And the whole point was they weren't meant to kill anybody. His theory was, if we go in there, if we try and keep the people on our side and make it look like we're like the Robin Hoods, and we're feeling sort of like, and we've got a plan to make it look like we're the good guys, everybody's going to hate. Then if we get them on our side, we can get away with this because people aren't going to want. There won't be any popular consensus to chase us down. So basically that's their plan, but obviously it starts going to pot when people start getting injured. It's good. It's Spanish, so you can either watch it dubbed or subbed. You can so it's on Netflix, so you can watch it either way. I'm watching it subbed, but it's good. It's almost like a really very undark version of Breaking Bad, where you find good criminals, but nothing really bad. There's no one gets like brutally murdered in the first episode type thing. Right. So far from the whole thing, no one's actually died.
So the execution didn't happen then?
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't happen. That's a bit of a spoiler, but it's an obvious spoiler when you watch it. It's clear it's not going to get killed. So the guy basically hides. One of the guys hides what he did. He pretends he did the execution and hides it. So forth. So yes, it's rolling the characters and it's really interesting. The only downside is that I thought the 30 episode. No, that's fine. It worked. No, that's all right. I'm fine. No problem at all. Okay. The first 30 episodes, is only half the series, and then you end. It gets its odds to be continued. So the other ones have been produced and broadcast, but they're not on Netflix yet. So I may have to acquire them through other means.
What you mean, your friend, the internet?
My friend of mine who lives in Poland will acquire them for me, and Russia,
that's if he's
and
not
South Korea, and Germany, and the US, and the UK. Indeed, anywhere they're busy being connected to, really.
So I just say, don't worry. I've got a friend, the internet.
But no, I was split to when I first watched. Well, this is going to be weird. I'll give it a go. But yeah, I've really hooked into it.
Sounds pretty good.
It is really good. It's really, it is very good.
Definitely sounds like my kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely worth a watch. I was hooked into the first couple episodes. I was hooked on it.
Sure.
So.
Nice. Netflix.
Yeah. Nice. So that's it for TV. Anything else before we move on?
No.
Okay, so into other news. So obviously big news this week. We've had a death, unfortunately, and Stephen Hawking.
We've had a couple, haven't we?
Yeah.
Jim Bowen as well.
Yeah, but that's of course the main people.
Poor Jim Bowen.
He's alright.
What's he done recently?
Die.
Bullseye reruns.
Yeah.
So
Challenge TV.
yeah, Stephen Hawking has passed on.
Yeah.
Died. Great shame.
Congratulations, you reached endgame.
It wasn't his 70s. Well, he was in his 70s.
I was going to say, congratulations, considering he was meant to be dead in his 20s, they were saying,
Yeah.
weren't they?
Yeah, in like months, didn't they?
They now, they said 2 years, but they now think he was misdiagnosed because no one else who's had that condition has ever made it past 2 years. So they now appreciate.
What was it?
Motor neuron disease.
Yeah.
But the form
I
of it.
thought Jason Becker had.
No, there's he had a form of it called ALS.
Yeah.
And anyone's been diagnosed that hasn't made it past a couple of years, maybe 3.
Yeah, that's a real killer. That is ALS.
Mm.
You deteriorate very, very quickly. Where motor neuron, you kind of deteriorate to a point and then stop. Really.
Yeah.
You basically go from he went from being able to sort of walk when he started as a student. By the time he was
Could you
completely
pass me that laptop that's underneath the table? I demand now have been given the opportunity to look up Jason Becker whilst you talk about Stephen Hawking.
You're supposed to theory of everything if you want to know.
Yes.
Hawking. It's a
Yeah.
really good film.
That is a really good film.
There's another there's another one called Hawking, which is good. I'm watching when he's played by Benedict Cumberbatch. And that's
the TV
really good
series
as well, yeah.
BBC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't catch that, but yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, sad news.
Sad news. Obviously, he's made famous for being in Star Trek and The Simpsons.
Big
And
Bang
it-
Theory.
and TV
Big Bang Theory. And occasionally he did some physics in the background.
Yeah.
His main book, The Theory of Everything, was his book. What was it called?
Yeah.
I think that wasn't that. Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
then there's like the brief history of time.
Previous
Yeah.
time, that's it, yes. So and obviously his big contribution was he came up with the idea of Hawking radiation. It wasn't called Hawking when he came up with it, they named it after him.
Because that would have been one hell of a coincidence.
Yeah. I've named this after myself, that's pretentious, but I've named it anyway and I'm right. It's big because they always say that if they could have observed it.
He was the big mind behind all the stuff to do with black holes as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, black holes obviously were around. Well, they've been around for billions of years, but the idea behind black holes wasn't new to him. He didn't invent them.
Amazing.
Someone just said, "What's that?" He said, "Black hole."
Yeah. But he came with the idea of the fact that they must radiate something out, which is Hawking radiation.
And he came up with the name black hole as well.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. No, he didn't.
It's the name of his first band. Hawking in the black holes.
Yeah. Hawking radiation in the black holes.
Holes.
But it's always said
Hawking Radiation was their first album.
Yeah. Oh dear. But yeah, so sadly he's passed on.
So, what did you say the thing was? The
ALS.
No, the statistic that he was like the only person in existence to last more than 15 minutes. No, he wasn't.
Was he not?
No,
Oh.
Jason Becker he ended up with ALS and was diagnosed with ALS in 1996.
Oh.
He's now 48.
I've been lied to.
Yes, you have.
Oh well.
Idiots.
Been lied to. Oh well.
Yeah.
Happens.
What is it? Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis.
I knew I should have trusted the Daily Mail.
What band was he in, Jason Becker?
Cacophony, man. Alright. Speed Metal Symphony.
Wasn't he a tennis player?
Motherfucker. One of the
I thought we
fucking,
still talking about
Robert
Stephen
Becker.
Hawking.
one of the greatest guitarists ever to have his career cut. Horrible
It's a
fucking
shit way to go, isn't it? I mean,
Guitarist,
how
isn't he?
deteriorated is he?
He can't do fuck all.
Oh, actually, I know who he is.
communicates
He's with
with
his
them.
eyes, isn't he? Yeah, I do know who he is.
So
Yeah,
he still writes music. And
yeah.
That's what other stuff was he in? Do.
Any time yourselves.
Yeah, that's fine. It's almost yourself, guys.
Yeah.
This is great podcasting too, isn't it? Well, it's looks at his laptop and stuff.
Should we just move
Oh,
on
so
to
he's
one?
gonna be
I
able
don't
to-
think so.
Have we got something looking forward to?
I don't think we have now, have we?
No, we deleted it.
Yeah, we deleted it.
Steve Vai.
So,
Was it?
It was going to be the replacement to Steve Vai
Alright.
in David Lee Roth's band. And
excellent.
then he ended up with
I don't think you moved on from obituaries to have we got anything we're looking forward to? No, not anymore. Just like, oh, alright.
Oh, I have that blanket, please.
Nope.
Well, underneath for this coat.
No.
Is it a bit nippy?
I don't know who Tony is. There's no such person.
Oh, I think you're cold.
I'm fucking cold. I'll take a
There you go.
Put some slippers on.
I'm glad he fucking slippers. The dog's chewed them up. Sorry.
There you go.
Put the dog on.
I'm
Stuff
trying
your foot.
up his ass, but it didn't work.
He didn't appreciate it.
Pass on the mouth.
Oh, what's he trying his fucking finger toy?
Bit rude.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
On that note, shall we end?
I think we
Yeah,
should
sure.
probably, for
So-
this worse.
Thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry I haven't responded to any comments, but I can't
Have we
read
not
them.
got weird news anymore? Is that gone?
No,
Yeah.
we dropped weird news.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's too weird.
we did that.
Wow. When did we drop weird news? Was
Well,
that-
if you've been paying attention, you would have known we dropped it. Probably towards a year ago now.
Wow.
You've been gone a long time, dude.
I have.
Yeah.
Weird news used to be like the thing we look forward to.
It was.
the
It
most.
got to the point.
It was
The
like
trouble was,
weird.
it got to the point where weird news wasn't weird. It was just
Oh.
people being stupid.
Yeah.
And you know,
Mm.
don't encourage the fucking stupid too
Yeah,
much.
it was hard to find actually funny stuff anymore, so
Yeah.
it's not bad.
After we won the.
Why don't we just do
creative
what the
contest.
regular news does and make shit up?
Who is this 4chan? It's like
There's enough of that in the world as it is. We don't need to keep adding
Yeah.
stuff to
Fake news.
we don't need to encourage them.
it.
New.
Well, Paul was trying to take comments because I can't read them from here.
Yeah.
Get some glasses.
Excuses though. God.
So,
I want you to check to see if I've actually got any.
oh God!
Yeah, we want to respond.
Okay, just
We need to interact with our fan base.
rude bastard. You ain't even look at the comments. How good are you?
How you know? Just walk off. I did. Yay, CVS 2 and yeah, pure bitch about the audio, but tough.
Is that
I
it?
fucking knew it! I knew it didn't sound right. God damn it! Anyway.
Anyway, so thank you for watching up in the stuff ground,
I'm in Middlemeister.
Skazz.
Bad.
and well, some of us will see. Because I can't say we'll see, because who knows who's going to be on the next podcast?
Two of you will be.
Yeah, 2 of us will be on the next podcast. Who knows who else?
We really fucking
Perhaps we'll have
qualified
Kim
to
with
go
us.
back to-
Perhaps with Teresa May of us. Who knows?
Oh, fuck
We'll
that.
see.
If she turns up, I'm out.
Fair enough. Me and Teresa May will have a podcast together, and I can berate her for being a silly old.
No, you're more than welcome.
Silly old bitch.
Everyone's going to complain.
Go throw them.
So,
Actually, I just want to have just a quick proud parenting moment before we go.
yes.
My children, 7 and 8 years old, they've already come to the conclusion that the government is full of assholes and idiots.
Good.
There you go. I was so proud.
Alright.
Well, my friend posted on Facebook that they're watching the Golden Contest with her daughter. Her daughter, who's about 5 years old, said it's not as good as the book, and she was very proud.
That is a proud moment.
Right, so goodbye everybody. See you
Bye.
in a fortnight. Somewhere.
Yeah. After we get executed. Oh, he's struggling. He's going to knock over the microphone.
Don't move. You're ruining the audio.
Stay still.